You took the teachings of Christ and substituted it with Horus, and so now you calling Jesus Horus. Now remember, Horus or Heru is the original Christ figure. Predates the other Christ figure 10,000 years. Okay? And it's a combination of Osiris. Is the original Christ figure. Now, I can prove to you that the Jesus of the Bible is not the Horus, the original Christ. How many people? Now, this is what you do. So since y'all silent, this is it. Jesus taught love, right? He taught love, supposedly. Well, why is it you can't find nothing about Horus and Hemmitt that talks about love? If you read the text, and you can rescue me if I'm wrong right now, that Horus don't do but one thing when he comes on the earth. Heru, he kicks ass. From the time he born to the time he illuminates, he don't do but one thing. Take motherfuckers' asses out. So obviously, one is an invention of Rome to make people docile so they can rule over them physically. Look in 2 Kings. 2 Kings 19 or something. It tells you, because one of the Greek words for Horus is Jehu or Jehu. I think it's Jehu or Jehu. That's a name for Horus or Heru. Heru Jehu. In 2 Kings it says Elijah will anoint Jehu or Jehu king of all of Israel. Israel, Isis, Ra, and El. Elohim, El, which means S-U-N and S-O-N, son and son. One and the same. Mother, father, son. You see. So, Horus or Heru don't do but one thing, kick ass. So by the time you get to the book of Revelation, oh, they done added the real motherfucker back up in there. The one that coming with the blood on the side, coming in white horses, slaying people. You see what I'm saying? The Greeks were the Etruscans. The Etruscans come from Etruria, Troy. Remember, the Greeks killed off the Trojans. That was the Phoenicians who started Rome and Greece. The language, the Latin language, is a black language. The Greek language is a black language. So I even challenge Walter Williams or anybody on this one, how in the hell can the man invent Latin and Greek when they couldn't even speak? Count Barney said that we had to teach them how to speak. So if we taught them how to speak, they couldn't invent no language as advanced as Greek. That means that they had to kill off somebody that was on the land prior when they came in and was taught this shit. That's common sense. Otherwise, if the man invented Greek, then the man is far more superior than we saying he is. Because he did it in a short version of time. Yet, the Egyptians said he couldn't talk in the Herodic Prize of the British Museum, Chester Beatty. You see, the Greek Heru is Heru Achilles, Hercules, which means glory of Hera. Hera is another ancient Greek god, Etruscan. This is our black mythology. Hercules don't do but one damn thing. Ass. Another form of that is Apollo. He don't do but one thing. Kick ass. So all this old shit about Jesus loved the little children and all that old stuff is Roman invention. One of the greatest books you can get on this, and let me break down that story so we can see this thing. We get another version of the story goes like this. You got Rome ruling. Romans ain't did but one thing in history: kill people. That's it. kill people. The ancient Etruscan people had an ancient mythology, Jupiter, Mars, and all this stuff, but it had gotten degraded or deteriorated. Now, in those days, your political party and how you ruled over the people was based on what their belief system was. Meanwhile, you got these Hebrews, and you basically got some Gnostic people. See, Christianity, believe it or not, Christianity was a Alexandrian Coptic black people that existed called later-day Egyptians, and they took the Horus mythology at the temple of Isis, or Aset at Philae, took them 100 years, and they converted the Metanetta into Coptic. Then these Coptic Camite Egyptians had their own worship of an original Christendom. You see, they converted to Coptic. They moved on into Rome. Meanwhile, Rome had Romulus and Remus and all that stuff. That stuff had deteriorated. They didn't even know half of the myth anymore. And the Romans had the Coptics, they had whatever Hebrews, and they had a couple of other people in the Roman aspect that had valuable religious or spiritual systems. The Romans, citizens, was like, hey, we need to get with them people because these people got it going on. The only thing these people doing is killing everybody. So the Roman government said, we got a problem. We are threatened to lose the citizens if we don't revise some type religion and get our thing together. Meanwhile, the Roman government and some of the Senate said, hey, look, we conquered Greece. Greece conquered Hemmitt. Greece raided the libraries in Hemmitt and took all of this Coptic, Metanetta, and all of this stuff out of Hemmitt. Then we conquered Greece, and we got libraries of this shit laying over here. Let's get us some scholars, Paul, Josephus, and all of them, go in there and put them books together. They put the book together using the Coptic version of Christos or Christianity. The Coptic Gnostics, which means gnosis, geno-isis, gnosis, which means knowledge, knowing. Gnosis means knowledge or knowing. The Coptics, they come out saying, we got this new Redeemer, Jesus Christ. And you know, they say we're going to get the last laugh. We're going to take the God from Jupiter, from Rome, and we're going to take the god Zeus, which means Jupiter in Greek, put them together, and although the Christ thing will be something else, we'll still be calling on the same Rome and Greco-Roman God, with the god Zeus and Jupiter together, because there's no Hebrew in the thing. Walter Williams tell you about that. Put it together and get the word Jesus, because also in, I'll take his name in a minute, Richard something. There's a book, he mentioned that Zeus is called Thus. The word Zeus is either named Zeus or it's also named Thus. So you get the word Jesus. There's no J, but you also get Jesus. And Jesus, Jesus, English. But anyway, they put this together. Talking about Jesus, the Christ. The Christ. Jesus is fake. The Christ is real. That is classed in Egypt. Christos in Greece. And so they was running around saying, we got this thing, this person came, and they was teaching all these people this stuff. And they're here, the Gnostic people who had the real version say, hey, wait a minute, that shit is fake. Because that's our tradition. So what they do, they kill off all the Gnostics. You know how you do, you got somebody's shit, you kill them off and take their stuff and take it. But the Christ represented, the Gnostics knew it was an esoteric meaning, and it represented the soul, transmutating. It's just only yourself. The book, The book, y'all all right? This book, Kabbalah, A.E. Waite's Holy Kabbalah. I got it in my mind, so I'll just go ahead and just paraphrase and just say it this way, because I don't have time to read it. A.E. Waite's Holy Kabbalah. It says, in the last days, there a new soul I will put into you. They're saying when this soul comes, men will dream dreams and women will have visions or something like that. It says, and the intruders will be wiped from the earth. Now, what is an intruder? An intruder is a person, it's talking about now, the end days, that wasn't there in the beginning and now is intruding and masquerading as God and as the authority of civilization. It says that these intruders cause an incontinuance towards learning. They said, well, what? So that means that you're supposed to be learning some shit, but somebody that came in and got your ass looking the other way. And they say, well, why do they not learn, the ancient people? They say because the intruders cause luxury. That's it. Needful things, physical things. You're always shopping, consumers. But it says that the Christ who is to come is in all of us. Now, let's go beyond that so you can get past the bullshit. Because you're stuck in religion and all that's fake. All of it. You just got to understand what you need to go directly study. And that's the key. So you can argue about history all day long. The priest learned something different than the average citizen. And you got to understand the breakdown of the esoteric part, and you got it. You can bypass the bullshit. And let's break this down. There's your esoteric, which means hidden, and exoteric, which means outer, which everybody gets. Exoteric is moral teachings. Pray to God and hope you don't bump into nothing. The exoteric is what the masses get. The priests get the esoteric, the mystical. Your esoteric to Christianity is Gnosticism. Gnosis, Gnosticism. So bypass the Christianity, go to the Gnosticism. If you Hebrew, your esoteric to Hebrew or Judaism is Kabbalah, the Kabbalistic system. If you Islamic, the esoteric is Sufism. Original name is Malianism. That was some stuff that Islam came from. But the Cushite Arabians, whose Muhammad's father was, Muhammad knew certain things, and they carved all that little shit up, and Bilal basically wrote that thing. Bilalianism is what that is, and that's the Hebrew, the Ethiopian. So Gnosticism, Sufism, and Kabbalistic is your esoteric. Then you have your esoteric cultures before religion, your esoteric cultures. Hemmitt, you see the Kemetic stuff? Now, Samaria and Mesopotamia and all of that type of stuff, that is nothing but provinces of Hemmitt. You see what I'm saying? Even in Kitskill's book, he say when Egypt ruled the east, they got a big old square on where Hemmitt ruled, and all of that stuff, the boys calling it Mesopotamia and Babylonia and all that now, but all that is northeast Cam, or Ethiops, Kush, Indus Kush. You see, Indus Kush. True spirituality has nothing to do with moralism whatsoever. Nothing. A dog don't need a damn book on how to be a dog. A cat don't need a manual on how to be a cat. Your moralism and your behavior came through your rites of passage in your civilization. You just didn't do certain things. Like I said on the radio, You say, how can you say that? We need doctrine. No, that's what you need now. Because we also knew that the war was going to come. And look what he did with the damn moralistic book. Can you imagine if he didn't have one? Hell, he killed your ass with the book. Say, thank you, Lord, and pass the ammunition. Can you imagine what would happen if he didn't have a book? So certain things had to come about. He had to look at a book just to be humane. You know, I don't need to act this way. Okay. The African didn't need that. Your rites of passages. Your rites of passages in your civilization, there was taboos and laws that was unthinkable. Right now, we had that even in this civilization. That's because you've been socialized into that. But even just 25 years ago, it was a taboo. There were certain taboos you just didn't do based on the culture. Culture, behavior. So your rites of passage in your culture, you didn't have to spend time on moralism. Certain things were just humane, and you was the best people that act humane. You wrote later on humane books for degenerated people that just had to learn how to be human. So if you didn't spend all this time praying and all that shit, because praying ain't nothing but begging. That's all that shit is. Begging. Hold on 1 minute. So how you say, brother, how can I not pray? Well, shit, I ain't prayed since fucking 1990. You see what I'm saying? But I know another method I'm going to teach you tonight, too. And also, too. Now, so what did you do? You learn how to become gods. That's it. That's the key. It's about becoming gods. And in this case, anti-gods. Higher than gods. We'll go into that. They didn't build all them temples. And you went to school for 40 years to learn how to be obedient. That was for a savage. Hell, you bowing down to some shit for. You are the Allah, the arm, the leg, the head, the leg, the leg, the head. Allah is nothing but Osiris. And it's male and female principle. You got Allah, the Al. They said Allah and Allah, but also Allah itself is male and female, dual principle. You got Al, which means S-U-N and S-O-N. You got La, which means feminine. It means mother. You got Leviathan. You think it's a great mother. Anytime you hear the word the dragon, that's the great mother, Alpha Draconis. Leviathan, Layla. Layla is another Arabic word for women. It means great mother. Lilitu. Lilith. That you thinking is the witch. Lilith. First wife of Adam. Who is the goddess Sekhmet in Kemet. You see. Who is the goddess Sekhmet in Kemet. Going through this little Christ thing again, and we're going to go into some of that. Christ, Christos, the seed. It's in your root chakra, called the Bindu seed. The Bindu seed. You get the word bin, stone. Or bin, sun, S-U-N, sun. It's down in the gastrointestinal tract. That's what a Christ is. Jesus born in a stable. What is a stable? It has shit. You see what I'm saying? Jesus born in a stable. What is shit? The word shit comes from the word shut, which comes from the word soot. The oldest god known to man is Soot. Soot Nubis. Soot Nessie. Soot Ha. Later on Set, when it was pre-dynastic, you overthrow, whenever, customary to all ancient people, when you want to make another religion supreme, or just your view supreme, you always overthrow or you always take the chief god of the pre-existing religion and make it the devil. One man's god is another man's devil. You get the word soot, which means black. You get the word on, Anubis, and Anpu, it means opening. Soot on, shut on, shaitan, Satan. You get the word Sutek. You get the word Melchizedek. Or Sutek, Setesh, Shutan, Satan, Teton, Titan. These are ancient words for the most ancient god. Lucifer, light bringer, which means the pineal gland. Lucifer, pineal gland. Lucifer fell like the morning star or the morning sun. Then you get the Revelations. Jesus said, I am the damn morning sun. Stay away from the dark side. Go to Isaiah 45 and it says, I will give you the treasures of darkness, which is melanin. The dark side. Now what is the dark side? The dark side is the study of alchemy. The alchemical black. Al, sun, S-U-N-S-O-N, chemi, cam, black. Black land, black sun, alchemy, black God. Black God. Ab, which means physical body. Ra, which means sun. Ham, which means black. It means the black sun, or the black sun god. Abraham. Abraham. The brother was talking about some Abraham shit. He don't even know. Abraham, Amun-Ra, same shit. Amun-Ra, Abraham. Amun means hidden, which means black. Ra means sun. The black sun. The black sun is what? The black dot. The black dot is what? The pineal. The sun, light bringer, Lucifer. The fallen ones, the fallen gods. Lucifer, the fallen gods. What it means by fallen? You were once in the spiritual realm. Then the vibration slowed down and you gradually took on a physical body. You are the damn fallen gods. You are the Titans, the Titans. We'll go deep into that in a minute. This is science, but you are just trained to just think that everything gonna fuck you up. The word hell comes from the word Hyle. Hyle means physical earth. Hylix, physical people, physical body. You live in hell. It means the physical realm. Satan, cherub, means God in the physical. The only difference between you and the Most High, or the so-called gods that you worship, is that you got on a physical body, and they don't. And the only thing that separates you is you the same energy. They just don't have the physical body, and your God is on the inside. These are alchemical terminologies and stuff, and you've been taught the fake stuff, and you praying against yourself. The word El, Elohim, sun, star. The word Eve, beginning, Eve-El, evil, beginning star, beginning sun, original star, Eve-El. All of these particular terminologies. Let's go on. In the brain, you have three major glands. Pineal, pituitary, and I think it's hypothalamus or one of them, thalamus or whatever. Thalamus. Three major glands. Jesus is born in a stable, which means that the Christ is born in a stable, which means the Christ is down here in the lower intestinal region, right in the up under the lower intestinal region in the root chakra. The men, it's in the root chakra. It's a little small seed. That's who you are. Born in a stable up under the shit. It rises. When he's born, he's met by three wise men. Pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus, or whatever. Thalamus. Three wise men, pineal, pituitary, thalamus, 3 stars in Orion's belt, 3 pyramids in Kemet, 3 crosses on Calvary, Jubilee, Jubilee, Jubileum. But it's talking about the 3 glands in the head. You see, the 3 wise men brings gifts. When the melanin rises up and crystallizes, it brings gifts. Anointing. Anointing what? Olive oil. Olives are black. Olives are green. The green, the chlorophyll breaks back down to carbon. The black olive is carbon. Carbons is what? 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. 666, which means carbon, which is what? Melanin is nothing but carbon. The triple blackness of space. People are carbon-based beings. You are carbon beings. You see, that's the difference. The Father, now it's interesting, the Father gave Mary a shadow, they say, and she became pregnant. Anytime you hear the word shadow in Jungian psychology, shadow means melanin, your shadow self. The word devil means double or doppelganger, your inner self, your dual self. The devil, doppelganger. The genius, hidden genius. Genie, jinn. That's right, you scared of gin. You know what gin means? Breaking down fucking gin, it means melanin, goddammit. The gin, the gin, the gin. The word amen in Greek is amen, in Greek is amen, it's daemon, Damien, and in Christianity, demon. The word demon means melanin. Give me a good example. Y'all all right? Give me a good example. Give me a good example. Let's go through some of these right now. Hell. Here's the Christ Horus. This is Horus, Heru, Christ. This is Soot, Set, which is melanin. Set, Satan, get behind me. Behind you is called the mouth of God, the medulla oblongata. At the base of the skull and the top of the spine is the most concentrated part of the melanin, substantia nigra. Satan, get behind me. Soot on, shoot on, get behind me. This is called, this black substance in India is called Akash. Akasha. Akash. You get the word Akashic records. The Akashic records is the melanin records. In the last days, the books, the records will be open. And the ones who did not find themselves on the records will be cast in a fiery furnace. The ones who don't find themselves on the records because they ain't got no damn records, because they don't have any Akashic records, they don't have melanin. You see? The Akashic records. You see? This is the child Christ, Horus. On top of him is Bess, Sutan, Bess. You see this in the movie Star Wars when Yoda is training Luke Skywalker and he got him on his back. This is where they get it from. He's standing on the crocodiles. The crocodiles is called Kim. The crocodiles of Cam, or Kim, Sebek, which means melanin. Satan, get behind me. The Horus lock. You get the word Horus lock, you get the word Harlock, you get the word warlock. The lock represents On one side of it represents what is in the ear, called the Varahadana chakra, which is nothing but the pineal, pituitary, the melanin region in the brain, and all. The Horus lock represents the lock of hair that indicates the pineal gland on the inside of the hair. On the inside. You see. On the inside. Let's go on. Y'all all right? Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. The word chrysomelos, as I said, the word chrysomelos means Christos, black, Christos, crystallizing, melos meaning black, meaning apple and black. Adam and Eve ate the apple, tapped into the third eye. When they tapped into the third eye, they what? They saw. They saw. You see? Which means don't tap into your third eye. Because I am a jealous God. And I shall have no God before me. He said, I am a jealous God and there are none before me. But the goddess Sophia say, Yahweh, Adalabra, Zeus, patriarchal God, don't lie, there is a God before you. He is the man, the first man, and the son of man. So we are higher than the God who created us. We'll go into that stuff. We will go into that type of stuff in a minute. Let's see. I just want to get through some stuff right quick. Let me go through some of these pictures, because we got all night here. Let me go through some stuff. Y'all all right? Okay. This picture you see is the Baphomet. You've seen this several times. This is Alypius Levi, the Baphomet. You think it's Satan. Number one, the Sabbatic goat, the Sabbath, which is Saturday. Saturday comes from the word planetary Saturn. And Saturn is Satan. The little new look at the old god. Satan, Saturn, Saturday. You see? Saturday, which represents Saturn, which represents the black planet. Saturn rules Capricorn, the Sabbatic goat. He has the third eye. Out the top of his head shoots the flame. The Kundalini energy is down here, but when it comes up here, it represents the flame energy, which is also a form of the Christ. Which is a form of the Christ. You got the moon, you got the black moon. It's the same as the yin and the yang symbol. Feminine and masculine. You see, these are ancient. This is an ancient Moorish symbology. The Moors went up into Europe. They set up 16 universities. You go to university and you go into a fraternity. Well, they set up, the fraternities were your ancient orders, York Rite, Scottish Rite, Knights Templar, which worship the Baphomet, the Knights Templars. This is the Moors' science, Moorish science. You know, the Christians needed a symbol for devil. So they took the ancient Greek god Pan, which is a form of the god Amun-Ra, because this is the same picture, just a same converted picture. Y'all all right? I had them on the floor, but I'm gonna put them back down there. Now let somebody want to come and spread them out. Shit. Just spread them on out, homeboy. Spread them on out. Yeah. This is a form of the god Amun-Ra, the ram head, and all this type of stuff. Oh, yeah. But you got the black sun. You also have the same yin and yang symbol. Same yin and yang symbol. You see what I'm saying down here? But this is a symbol that's in all religions or all spirituality. You will see a circle with a dot on the middle. That dot represents the nucleus. That's why we fail doing, here goes some more, brother. That's why we fail during the 60s. We are trained to look at liberation based on the masses of the people. The masses of the people. The masses ain't never did shit but died. The masses is too big. The masses is too big. It's too dense, too big, too mass for you to understand anything, or for you to get it together. The European rules with a few people in a room deciding all the fate of everybody. They got that from Africa. That's the way, that's universal rule. And that's this principle right here. The nucleus. The masses is too big. You'll wear yourself thin talking about getting the goddamn masses. But if you strengthen the nucleus, you can pull in the masses. You see what I'm saying? The nucleus, a small group, not a mass movement. All mass movement. Get out of groups. If you can read, you have no business following another motherfucker on this planet. Y'all crazy as hell. The Bible said, blessed are those who read. Even the picture of Master Farad Muhammad, he got a book in his hand saying, hell, after all this shit is over, this is the age where we got to have mass movements. But in the last days, you're supposed to be the most sophisticated people in the world. If you can read a damn book, what the hell you need a nigga to tell you some shit for? Because we lazy. We lazy. And we want to follow some damn body. I wouldn't follow nobody to the fucking bathroom. But we are addicted to this thing. Even me. Sister say, brother, I'll follow you to Sirius. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, wait, how are you going to follow me? I ain't got but one fuck. I got 2 eyes on my goddamn stove. 2 eyes. Take me damn near 2 hours to cook a damn meal. You going to follow me some damn well. I just lived the last year without a damn refrigerator. That's how I got even bigger. I was eating out all night, all the time. You gonna follow me. And you follow these niggas for 10, 20 years and you look up and you find out they ain't shit, but you can't get out because you're all socialized in it. You done put up all your money. You done talk shit to all your friends on how they fucked up. And they little shit they doing ain't no good. And so you can't get out now. So you stay on and on and on with all these old bullshit ass leaders. I don't follow nobody. If I don't follow the man, you know I ain't going to follow his invention. Picture. This picture and this picture is one and the same. This is the Baphomet. But you can see you have the Masonic symbol, which is also a star, as above, so below. As above, so below. But if you look this way, pointed up, this is also the so-called Star of David, which is 2 inverted pyramids. If you look this way, this is the head of a penis. But if you look at the pubic hair of a woman, it's the vagina. You see what I'm saying? As above, so below. You see? This picture is the same thing. You see the horns on Amun-Ra's head. You see? The horns on Amun-Ra's head. This is an interesting picture, the one I had up. This is the god Abraxas, or Aeon, coming from Persia, but it's... Oh, that's good, brother. You straight. Y'all got a tight shift here. Coming from Persia, you got the black god up here. You got the lion, which represents the Sphinx. You got the wings that you see on the Christ. You have that... Anytime you see any kind of stone, that also represents the pineal gland. Anytime you see the serpent, that represents the kundalini energy that we'll also get into. But the lion, you got the beast, 666, that you're all scared of. Guess what the damn beast is? You go to the damn middle of the earth and you will see the Sphinx, horror market, a lion, a beast, which is the doggone Sphinx. And guess what the Sphinx is? Horus on the horizon. Guess what the beast is in the Bible? It is the Christ. It is the Christ. Satan and Christ is one and the same. These are esoteric terminologies. The word Satan means hidden God, hidden son, pineal, Lucifer. The God of darkness. Christos, or Christ, represents Satan, get behind me, or it means Christ conquers Satan. When you conquer mathematics, you become mathematics. You synthesize it. The black melanin switch on, black opening switch on. I know people haul ass on that one. Switch on. Switch on. The word Satan only means melanin in alchemical terms. It means the word Satan, you get the ancient god Set. But also Set is also named Chem, or Chemophis, black god. It means hidden god, hidden substance. The Christ represents the seed that is inside of the melon. There's one little seed that's inside of the melon called the Bindu seed, the crystal seed, the white stone. And so when this melanin is synthesized, it becomes the Christos. Jesus rides into Jerusalem on an ass, a donkey. Set is known as the ass deity. But here's the picture I just showed you was the picture that showed you all of that. Horus Set. This is the same thing. This is Horus. This is Set behind him. Horus, or the hero, the Heru of the hero, is called the great face of God. The face. The face. Jacob, Jacob, the black god, wrestled with the angel all night. At the end of the night, he saw the face of God, and it was called what? Pineal. Horus. That black angel was Set. All this means yin and yang. Light, the core. These are alchemical terminologies that religion have turned into damn moralistic shit, and you worshiping a devil, which means diabos, dual one, doppelganger, your inner self, your double. The devil, double. The beast, the lion, the sphinx, the number of a man. Well, it's got a damn man head on the shit, or a woman's head, and a lion's body. Where y'all see all this stuff come from? The beast, which is called Harmarket, Horus on the horizon, which is the Christ. So all this ancient symbology has been turned around. Let's go on. Let's see here. Everything they used to say about us was them people. They used to say we had tails. But they got some real nice pictures around the world of them having tails. This is one that of them having tails. You know, 1 out of 5 of them is born with tails. They amputate them when they come out. 1 out of 5. They have tails. 1 out of damn 5. All right, let's see. Hold on 1 minute. Let me go into some more notes right quick. As we go, let's go. Let me go to some more notes, and then we can. Let's see here. I want to get some more notes out here, and let's see here. Y'all all right? Okay. So let's go back where all this stuff started from. The oldest religion, or the oldest spiritual system in the world, is called Typhonian, Ophidian, and Draconian. You ever heard this? Your ideas are very draconian. Well, where does that stuff come from? Number one, Draconian means the constellation of Draco, the great dragon, the northern region of the hemisphere. The great dragon, later on known as Leviathan. Before it was Leviathan, it was Typhon, Leviathan, and Typhonian, Typhon. This is the pre-dynastic Kemet. The pre-dynastic Typhonian Kemet matured, developed, matured and declined before you get the first monumental phases in ancient Kemet that you know of as the dynastic Kemet, or dynastic Egypt. The Typhonians, or the Draconians, or the Ophidians is the oldest known worship system in the world. You get the constellation of Draco, or the great dragon, which is basically the great mother being replaced by the masculine principle. Even if you get the creation story in Egypt, Ra comes in and replaces Apep, the great dragon or the great mother. Apep is known as the great dragon, or it's also known as the hippopotamus. In the temple of Dendera, let me see if I got some more pictures. In the temple of Dendera and the zodiac of Dendera, see if I got this in here. The zodiac of Dendera, which is the temple of Dendera in Kemet, they tore down one temple and put up an older temple. They tore down one temple, but there was actually a papyrus in the wall giving them the instructions on how to fix the new temple and put the same hieroglyphic inscriptions on it. This temple is 90,000 years old. And you've seen this zodiac of Dendera, which is the oldest concept of deity or God on the planet. Now, in the middle is this same hippopotamus goddess giving birth to all of this. That's the constellation of Draco. And this particular goddess in heaven registers as the black woman on earth, which is the oldest concept of deity. Ra comes in and replaces Apep, Apit, Tyurt, and you have your masculine order. And they made all of the feminine stuff into Satan. So she becomes the great whore of Babylon. You see, she becomes Lilith, the evil one. You see. And in other mythology, she's replaced and she's degraded into evil. Before you have creation, this world was built off of several other primal worlds. So this is in the middle, the hippopotamus goddess. Our world was built off of several other primal worlds. These worlds existed about the same amount of time this world, what we call creation, exists now. So let's say roughly, the boys say 13 billion years. Prior to that, you have what is called the primal worlds, and those particular primal worlds was the realm of the Great Mother. Now, let's go into some stuff so we can deal with that. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 mythologies. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 mythologies so we can deal with this. The first mythology we're going to go into to trace this thing, because your Typhonian, after the Typhonian, the pre-dynastics came in, they established Ra. They basically destroyed a lot of the Typhonian stuff. But those temples down in Nubia that was covered over at the Aswan Dam, covered over 200 temples, they replaced it. They replaced those particular temples with Typhonian information. And they had tons of this Typhonian information in the British Museum. But when Gerald Massey came in and did his 6 books, they locked down all that stuff. And this is the pre-dynastic stuff. So we're going to go into a couple of mythologies so you can understand what went on. We're going to go into, so the Typhonian stuff, it didn't survive in Kemet, but it traveled out of Kemet into the place where you call Mesopotamia and Babylonia and all that stuff, that was just nothing but another form of Cush. Or Etruria, Tyrrhenia, Typhonia. So we're going to trace a couple of these stories so you can get this down pat on how you became, how you are higher than the God who created you. How can you be higher than the God who created you? That's just some crazy shit you talking, nigga. That don't make no damn sense. You know, that don't make no sense. I got a damn headache from all this heat. What, look. Look. See, we down south got a motherfucking remedy. If you from down south, you know what I'm talking about. BC Standback a goodie. That's a goodie. You got a sprained ankle, you take a goodie, you can walk on that shit. My grandmama, she was 80. And the doctor came back and said, damn, this woman here, she has the heart of a 16-year-old. My mama said, shit, they didn't know that bitch was hooked on goodies. You know? I think she would have died about 20 years earlier, but the goodies kept her ass alive. She was just a zombie, and the goodies kept her alive. Now, let's go home. Now. So now, how do we become higher than the gods who created us? Y'all all right? Okay. We're going to give you several versions of this. All of this is African. We're going to start off with, because we want to get to this pre-dynastic thing. We want to find out what is older than all these bourgeois religions. So let's go way back and we'll trace these things, and that's where the scholarship comes in to piece all this stuff together and weave it together so we can get a clear synopsis on who we are and how this thing goes down. Then we can go into some other science on how we raise up out of here and all this kind of stuff here too. Now, let's go into this remote history. So the first one we'll go to is the so-called, what they call the Babylonian, which we know is nothing but Typhonian Egyptian. But for the sake of words and stuff, the boy didn't write this stuff. If he wrote this, we in trouble, because this shit is profound. But we can trace it all the way even back to Hemmitt. So everywhere you go, we can find a version of it, because you ain't dealing with no idiot. Now, let's deal with this stuff. In the Babylonian Genesis, Alexander Hadel's book, Babylonian Genesis, Alexander Hadel's book, Babylonian Genesis, in the text called the Enuma Elish, creation myths. They start off with a goddess named Tiamat. Mayat was in the beginning. Mayat will be in the end. So is it in the beginning? Will it be in the end? So Mayat becomes Tiamat in Babylonia, or what they call Babylonia. It's basically Typhonia. All that's the same black land. Indus, Kush, Cam, Camemoria, Alcamoria. So the story goes that the Great Mother used to rule for thousands of years, for millions of years, for billions of years. The Great Mother used to rule. The Great Mother got old, which means she started slowing down and going to sleep. The cycle started deteriorating. That age, called Ayin in the Kabbalah, called chaos in the Bible, and melanin is chaos. That's what it is. Chaos never stops moving. Melanin never stops moving. That's when they take melanin out of the body, it changes the whole composition. Richard King tells you that. Melanin is chaos. Now they got chaos magic, chaos mathematics, chaos physics. All that stuff is breaking down melanin. You know, breaking down melanin. Melanin is chaos. There's several books on this thing. Introduction to Chaos Magic, which is melanin magic. Peter Carroll. Libanol and the Psychonaut. Peter Carroll. Condensed Chaos. Phil Hines. Prime Chaos. Phil Hines. These are these books. Liber Chaos. Chaos Magic. Liber Chaos. Libanol, which is his first book, Peter Carroll. Libanol and the Psychonauts. Peter Carroll's book, Introduction into Chaos Magic. Then Phil Hines, Phil Hines has Condensed Chaos. Condensed means it's inside of your body. That's melanin. And he has another book called Prime Chaos. Then you go into James Kirk book. That's a scientific book on chaos. Okay? So in this beginning, you had chaos, which was the great mother. In this case, we'll call her Tiamat, or in Hemmitt, we'll call her Typhon. Draco, Alpha Draconis. All right? The great dragon. Dragon's blood. Menstrual blood. You see what I'm saying? Menstrual blood. Dragon's blood. I take another take on that than other people. You know. We gotta, you really want to fuck up some stuff, or you really want to get some money or whatever, get on your period, and we'll show you some shit to do. That's why they had to stop you. That's why when the patriarchal aspect came in and they want to rule over woman, they had to make that period evil. Because they knew when you got on your cycle, you can do some shit. So we'll give you one of them period rituals. You see what I'm saying? See, I was raised by 2 black women. So I'll sell out the brothers every goddamn time for that goddamn woman. I know y'all niggas get scared, but I'll sell you out every time for the woman now. You see what I'm saying? So, this chaos got old. Tiamat got old and started going to sleep. She had a son named Marduk, or Ra, or Yahweh, or the feminine principle, was born, and he had another group of younger children that were a little bit powerful than the older parents that had been billions of years old. This is just energy, one newer energy taking over the other energy. When Tiamat got old, Marduk, or Ra, or Yahweh, or Apep got old, Ra, you get what I'm saying about these great mothers, Apep, Tiamat, Leviathan, Typhon, Lilith, the Titans. We'll give you that story in a minute. When she got old, the younger energy, well, let me just give you the mythology. Tiamat got old. Her son Marduk came up with a younger group of people, and they start making a whole lot of noise. Tiamat said, I can't take this noise. You know, them children up there acting up. So she got old. She had a friend named Kingu, which was her mate. They both got old. The children rose up and kicked the mama ass. Kicked their ass, defeated them, took Tiamat's blood and made the earth in the physical form that we have now, in the physical universe that we have now, is made out of Tiamat's blood. Then they took her blood and her mate's Kingu's blood, and they made human beings out of it. So in so many words, they encased us in physical bodies. We are the leftover remnants of the primal worlds, the chaos worlds, and the melanin inside of you is what was in existence before the known universe or creation or the creator God that you call a sun out there, you call a universe. That is your sun. The melanin is the primal substance or something left behind. If you translate the word Damien, or Amian hidden substance, a demon, it means something left behind. Our world came into existence and was made and was built off of several other primal worlds. Those primal worlds no longer exist, but in minute form. They now exist as the melanated makeup inside of you. And ultimately, so that also shuts you down too. But this particular monotheistic system, or just worship Allah. You are the Allah. The Allah in ancient Kemet, because look, in ancient Kemet, it said, it says, I look upon something, I climb up the ladder among the gods, and I holler like a goose until they hear my prayer, and they report it to Sirius, the dog star. In the Holy Quran, it says, this is a God who created both male and female from one single ejaculated semen. He is the Lord of Sirius. So they said the Lord of Sirius in ancient Kemet would be Osiris. And Osiris is the physical body and the inner body. You are the Osiris, you are the Allah. Worship yourself. You see, isn't it not written in the law that ye are gods and the scriptures cannot be broken? So how can you put a doggone name on that shit? The unnameable. You see what I'm saying? They say, I am the God of the living and not the dead. Osiris is the God of the dead. Even Jesus is the God of the dead. Because, you know, that came from the Christ. Hell, he had to die before he got hooked up. Just like in the damn Matrix. They had to shoot his ass to get hooked up. We'll go into some death stuff in a minute. Because you scared of death. Everybody want to go to heaven, but nobody want to die. The greatest peace you'll ever know is in the realm of death. Every day you wake up should be a very bad day. Serious business. Every day you wake up down in this bullshit should be a bad day. And the only reason why it ain't a bad day because is based on how much anesthesia you collect. Called materialism. But the more knowledge you gain, the more the materialism go away. Full mind, empty house. Empty mind, full house. Every day you wake up should be a very bad day. Even the Bible says, he who loves the world shall surely lose it, and he who hates it shall gain the kingdom. Now, if you have a hatred for the world and humanity, you're pretty much free. Because you don't need shit no more. You don't like this bitch no more. So what? You don't have to please yourself no more. See, you're all trying to get pleasure. Give up on the shit. Then see, there's an old. Now, let me give you. It's all together. We're gonna get into this, but there's a text. We're going into this illusionary phase. There's a text coming out of India. Because this whole matrix and illusion thing, a lot of that stuff is in the India text, which is stuff that survived and preserved itself, which is the ancient Ethiopian Kushite stuff. That's what that Hindu stuff is. There's a text about a king, the suffering king. And this king, said this a little bit last night. This king was going crazy. He just went crazy. And all the people that was in the society said, why don't you act like a king? Because you don't want to follow somebody. And so his father went and got an ancient sage or a priest to come to find out what was wrong with him. And the priest cured him. And the way the priest cured him, the priest came up to him and said, what you are feeling is right. And what he was feeling was this. He tapped into his higher self, and he realized that the kingdom that he was ruling over didn't exist. It was only a hologram. I'm going to go in that in a few minutes. And he started going crazy because he realized that none of this stuff existed. So when the sage came and cured him, he told him that you're not crazy. This thing it doesn't exist. And he said, well, what should I do? He said, well, go back and rule over the kingdom anyway. He said, well, how can I rule over a kingdom that don't exist? He said, first of all, you got one up over the other people, the other kings. They still think that their kingdom exists. So when shit go wrong, they'll think, oh, Lord, it's me, oh, my life going wrong. I'm a bad king. He said, you know the shit don't exist no way. So you be like, oh, piece of cake. Don't worry about it. You see what I'm saying? Now, we live in an illusionary world called Maya. It doesn't exist. Let me give you an ancient mythology to deal with this. The great old ones, which used to be ourselves, that used to rule the whole universe, the omniverse, and all there was, went to sleep. Here's the story again, how we degenerated. These younger gods, they're called the elder gods, but they were the younger gods at the time. They came and they saw the great old ones asleep in their tombs. So what they did is they took this elder sign and put on them. And when they woke up, they could not get out from their tombs, their physical bodies. They were trapped, and they couldn't get out of their tombs because they had this elder sign on them. And this mythology, I said, well, what is this elder sign? What is this elder sign? From 95, I read this and stuff. It took me to 98 to find out what it was. The elder sign is the human brain. Nothing exists. This brain is wired to make things appear that they exist. And you can't override this human brain because in order to override the human brain, you got to tap into the third eye or the first eye. The pineal brain, the Lucifer brain that is up under the physical brain. You see? And how you tap into that is you have to reduce everything that you think is important in this life down to nothing. And you should develop a longing for death. Death is the ultimate in this universe. See, once you develop a longing for death, you pretty much got it easy. You don't have to kill yourself. But once you fall in love with death, you know, the Egyptians, the Canaanites, everything was based on funerary stuff. You see what I'm saying? You develop a longing for death. Do you know? Look at this thing here. This is so profound. The guy, Alvin Boyd Kuhn, which is one of Massey's, he was inspired by Massey, but he came about in the 1940s. Gerald Massey died in 1907. In his information, he tapped into something, and the government said, first of all, he wrote a book called Who is This King of Glory? And the story I told you about, let me go back to this. Because what they did was, I told you about Jesus, how they had to establish a new religion, and they took all this stuff and put it together in Rome. Off the other ancient texts, he wrote a book that breaks that shit down. Who is this King of Glory? That's John Henry Clark always talk about that book. Who is this King of Glory? You can get it at Kessinger's Publishing. Who is this King of Glory? He wrote that book, and it breaks this Jesus thing down. I dare any motherfucking preacher to even try to fuck with it. Boy, you get your ass whipped. Your shit will be over if I dare you. You want to mess with some stuff, so we'll throw the scholarship on your ass. Because really, we hypocrites. We don't want to give up off something because we don't want to get up off the damn money. then we have egos, and we have people worshiping us as these preachers. And to say that this shit is false means you got to get a whole nother shit. And that means you got to humble yourself and learn something new. And we don't want to learn nothing new. You see what I'm saying? I dare you to get this book, Who is This King of Glory? Alvin Boyd Kuhn, for any doggone preacher. The scholarship is so precise until the government see. We thought that Jeremiah said ancient Egypt lied of the world when he broke down the parallels of Jesus and Horus. But this Alvin Boyd Kuhn, Who is This King of Glory? This thing Kuhn, K-U-H-N. Alvin Boyd Kuhn, B-O-Y-D, Boyd Kuhn, K-U-H-N. In his book, he breaks down this thing so awesome until it just basically just will wipe a preacher and wipe the whole Christian structure out. So the United States government and all the British government and everybody around the world say, we got to suppress this book. You can only get it from Kessler's publishing. Kessinger. What is it? Kessinger. K-E-S-S-I-N-G-E-R. Kessinger Publishing Company. Cali, Vermont. Well, they have a number too. They have a number. This is one of his other books called Lost Light. I didn't bring the Who is This King of Glory. They have a number, 406-756-0167. 406-756-0167. Send for a catalog. But that book will kill anything. But in his book, Lost Light, which is this book right here, he says something that is so astonishing. And he broke this science. He broke this particular science on this. And it says, now look at this. The fact stands that they did call, he was talking about the Egyptians. He said the fact stands that the Egyptians did call our life death, and that they spoke of the dead in sacred books, and indubitably that they meant living humans. The words death, the dead, are used in the old scriptures are referring to living humanity, an earthly embodiment. What they said was that what we call life on earth is some left behind stuff when a whole other bunch of gods died. And in actuality, we were living in the land of the dead right here on earth. And in so many words, when they died, they just dreamed. And when they dream, because they got this brain on them, and when you go to sleep at night, you go to the real world. And when you wake up, you are dreaming. They said, Neil, remember in the Matrix, you've been living in a dream world, Neil. Where do you think all this shit come from? They got it right out of the Book of the Dead in the Sanskrit text. Now let's go into this stuff. This is some amazing stuff. Because I was reading some stuff and they were saying, even Krishnamurti and a lot of them saying, I hope I wake up one day. Now he got all this knowledge and he said, I hope I wake up one day. In the Nag Hammadi library, they say in the last days, man against man, man against woman, woman against woman, death, murder, mayhem. They say these people are dreaming dreams. They need to wake up. So do you hear what I'm saying here? You hear what I'm saying here? That we're walking around and we're not even awake. We're actually in a literal dream world. We are living in a world that's something that's left behind when we died a long time ago. And when a God dies, he dreams. You see what I'm saying? And this brain is the enemy. And the only time you wake up is when you go to sleep at night. happens is this. When you go to sleep at night, you go to this other realm. But because the earth does not have anything that can depict or that can coincide in this physical realm with that other realm, when you wake up, the brain has to substitute for that what you saw, and then you start getting crazy shit. You know, you eating ice cream, then you're riding a bicycle, then you jumping around on the bed, all kind of crazy shit. That's because the brain does not, the human realm does not have the phenomena to suggest what is in that chaos realm, and it can't depict this type of stuff. So it gives you all the crazy shit. But every now and then, this stuff comes together, and it will give you warnings called lucid dreaming of some shit that's going to happen to you to save you in the future. You see what I'm saying? And this stuff here has numerical breakdowns to it. So it gives you numbers. And that's what a number system was started in Harlem by black people. You see what I'm saying? Now, going on. This brain only gives you a hallucinatory phenomenon. That space out there that you see don't even exist. It's a series of illusions that never existed. Those stars out there that you see, they are actually on the inside of your head. The universe you see out there is a reflection of a universe that's on the inside of you. That's called the petty universe. That's called the petty universe. Now this shit getting ready to get funky. Let me just deal with this thing right here. Let me give you one other text. The god Rudra in India, this text says, there's a book you need to get. You like that Matrix movie. There's a real Sanskrit book that deal with all that shit based on these dreams in the Matrix. It's a book called Dreams, Illusions, and Other Realities. Dreams, I didn't bring it, but I got the woman's name. I got another book by her. Y'all all right? You know, in actuality, this is this is an exciting time to be alive. This is some wonderful stuff. You know, you get to hear stuff that you don't hear every day. This is beautiful. Somebody talking about give some tidings and 10%. I'm going to let you in on a little secret right now. Yeah, you mark my word, and God is my witness. So if I'm black, if I'm lying, my mama's a bitch with boots on. And my mama ain't nobody fool. If I'm lying, my mama's a bitch with boots on. And Glacier Hemmitt ain't nobody fool. They gonna die for getting over on the damn people. You see what I'm saying? The man, that's his job. That's all he ever did. That's why he down here. But we talking about these bloodsuckers of our damn people. These niggas building these cathedrals. They gonna die. There's a power that's coming, gonna kill them niggas. Mark my word, if I'm lying, I'm flying. Now, there's a book called Dreams, Illusions, and Other Realities by Wendy O'Flaherty, O''F''L''H''E''R''T''I. O''F''L''H''E''R''I, O'Flaherty, Wendy O'Flaherty. She has a book called Dreams, Illusions, and Other Realities. And it breaks down all this shit in Sanskrit on how this shit ain't nothing but a matrix. Then there's another book, the scientific book by modern science called The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbert. You see what I'm saying? Michael Talbert. You see. Now, in this one text in the book, Dreams, Illusions, because the book will tell you about the king who woke up and saw that he was living over a world. That's in that book. The one that was ruling over the kingdom and went crazy. It's in that book. There's another one where they talk about the god Rudra. Now, let me explain this to you. If you go to Hemmitt to try to find the origin of the real Christ, you get Horus or Heru but the stuff is fragmented because they got tons of our stuff at the University of Chicago, France, Germany, and Russia. I mean, there's thousands of Egyptian texts, and they're holding on to them, and we can't get those things. That's why when you go, you will see thousands of books on Greece and Rome. You won't find the same old tired-ass Budge books and a few other things, and it's always the same stuff. They got mythological things. I mean, it's like thousands. They work around the clock for the last 150 years translating shit, and none of this stuff is never put out to the public. But, okay, so when you even go to try to say, I want to learn some more on this, you say this Christ shit, if the Jesus shit is some other stuff that's all patched together, I need to go to the Horus stuff. But when you go to the Horus stuff, other than Gerald Mass's Ancient Egypt, Light of the World, which he did the greatest work you can find on Horus, 2 volumes, Ancient Egypt, Light of the World, you still don't get, and he was only showing the comparison between Jesus, but you still don't get the essence of what this Christ thing is. Well, I have done work, and I found out that you can find most of this Christ stuff if you go to India, which is the stuff that traveled out of Hemmitt into Kush. You find the Christ stuff if you get the stuff on the god Sheba, Sheba, S-I-V-A, Sheba, they pronounced it. This book by O'Flaherty called, the same woman, Wendy O'Flaherty, The Erotic Ascetic. Sheba, the erotic ascetic, A-S-C-E-I-C. And it's interesting because once you really go into the Christ thing, it don't even resemble nothing of the Jesus thing. This Mark here, what he does is you would think this is a hoe. All he does is screw. But that's divine. We're going to get into that tonight too. Those are latent energies, and we're going to talk about this sex tantra and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? And so they had to get rid of all that stuff and all. But the Sheba is the real Christ myth. You want to learn more about Horus, you got to go and get Sheba. There's 2 books. There's one called The Presence of Sheba. Hold on. The Presence of Sheba by Stella Kramerich. Kramerich. Stella Kramerich. Kramerich. Those 2 books. The Presence of Sheba and Wendy O'Flaherty's book, the Sheba, the Erotic Ascetic.